Welcome to Crafty Little Beach. This is Julie. Today I have a Dollar Tree DIY for you. For this one, I want to do a giant burlap flower and I need a base. You could use a round sign for this. I chose a square sign because I really kind of wanted some color to peek out of the sides. I just had a leftover fall sign and you're really not going to be able to see anything but the corners. So I don't really care that there's a pattern on there, but I did want it to be pink. And so I used some pink acrylic paint just to go all over, and that is going to be my background sign for my giant burlap flower. This is the burlap that I'm going to use. This is the 18-inch burlap roll from Walmart, but you could also use some of the Dollar Tree burlap as well. I opened my up and folded it like a triangle to go down to match the other side so I could cut out a perfect 18-inch square of this, which is way too big for my flower petals. So then I fold it in half, cutting that in half, and then I'm going to cut each one of those in half. And so instead of 18 by 18, each piece is now 9 by 9 inches. And I think that's going to be the perfect size for my petals. I'm going to go ahead and cut down some twine for this. And let me show you how I put my petals together. I fold it up and then I fold it down like that so the tips meet. Then I pinch it in the middle and then I pinch it side to side like that. And then I tie it off with some twine. I'm going to double knot that so it'll stay put. The petals will be bent like that to go out to the sides. And we're going to do a couple layers with this flower too to make it nice and full. This would be really pretty too if you had a colored burlap as well. Again, I match up the ends, I pinch it in the middle, and then I pinch it from side to side, tying that off with my twine, and I have another 2 petals for my flower. So I needed to cut down another piece. I went ahead and cut down some more of these 9-inch by 9-inch squares, and we're just going to keep assembling these. I wasn't sure how many of these I was going to need, so I thought I would just do a bunch of them and see where that got me with the flower. And it was really easy. The only thing I really wanted to do was to make sure to have my twine cut down first so I wouldn't have to worry about that when I had this all pinched perfectly into a petal. And I wanted to use the twine because it will blend in a lot better with the burlap instead of like a zip tie or anything like that. But as you can see, making the petals themselves are really easy. Now I wanted to kind of see how far I could get with what I have here. So they're all going to be bent like that going out to the side. And I was trying to decide if that was full enough, if it needed another petal. And then I was trying to decide maybe I should even do a second layer to the flower, which I do end up doing. But for this layer, I think that 6 of them, so 6 individual bundles, is going to be plenty for this layer of the flower, and then I can add in more. So what I did was I took the 2 next to each other, tied those together with twine as well, double knotting that to keep that all together. And like it'll still go together like that really nicely. And then I'm going to do that there with my other 2 bundles as well, just tying them together like that. This was such a fun flower to make. Now, if you didn't want to see the sign in the back, you could use like a smaller round sign, something that you could attach back here just to give it a little bit more structure than just the burlap. Once I have my 3 bundles all tied off, I just used hot glue to glue mine to the sign. Right here, I will have like a little opening in the middle for the center of my flower. And I do the same thing here with the other 2 bundles. And since I wanted my flower to be nice and thick, I'm going to go in here with a second layer. And I was trying to decide how many I needed. I think I need maybe 2 more of those. So let me cut out a few more and gather those together. I don't need quite as many as I needed on the bottom row, but I think this will make my giant burlap flower look even fuller by having a second row of petals. And I don't mind if the burlap unwinds a little bit, as long as it's not too much, I'll pull any extra strands. So I took these 2 bundles and tied them together like that. I'm going to do the same thing here with my other 2 bundles. And tying them together like this really made this project a lot easier, I think, than trying to attach them all individually. Now that I have my 2 bundles like this together, I can add them all together. I'm going to tie the 2 bundles together here in the middle. And basically, it's going to fill up the entire center and any of the gap that I had there in the first flower. I'm just going to attach that right on top of this one, kind of staggering out my petals a little bit. And I just attach it with hot glue, burlap to burlap. Now for the center of the flower, I needed something round and I thought I would do something fun. Make mine a little bit more of a coastal spring flower by using one of the Dollar Tree sand dollars that they used to have from the shore living section. I have a huge stash of these. I love them. Really, you could use any kind of a wood circle, but I thought this would be a fun touch. I'm going to paint mine like a Caribbean blue color just to add some more fun to go with the pink sign on the back and the burlap. I think this is going to make it look kind of coastal, and it's going to be the center of our flower, so I think that's really fun. I just used hot glue to attach my sand dollar here to the middle of our burlap flower. And I think this is really whimsical and fun. It looks so cute hanging on my wall. It's actually a pretty big piece. And I do like the little pink sign in the back, adding a little bit of character to it. I did decide to switch out the hanger that was on the sign with just some of their wood bead garland, just to add another fun texture. I'm just going to leave the wood beads like this natural wood color. And I think that's going to add a fun little coastal flair to it as well with the wood on there. What I did was I just tied that onto the existing hanger here in the back. Instead of reattaching with staples or anything like that, I added the decor without actually taking it apart like that. I'm just going to go ahead and staple that one down to kind of keep it out of the way. Now, I like it so far, but I thought we could add even a little bit more fun by using some pink flowers from the Dollar Tree and having some petals like coming out kind of in the middle of the flower underneath the sand dollar and peeking out. So what I did was I took apart some of these pink cosmos flowers and I basically want the petals cut like this. So I went ahead and cut them in half where I could tuck those behind the sand dollar and just add like another little color section of the flower just to add to the floral aspect of it. I just used a little dot of hot glue and kind of slid these underneath my sand dollar. It might be easier to attach these before you add the center to your flower, but this was a last minute addition and I'm glad I did because the pink goes well with the pink sign in the back and it really added a fun floral touch. So it's not all just about the sand dollar and the coastal. It also has a lot of spring vibes to it as well. So as you can see, I just work those together like that. After I cut them in half, I can overlap them like that and make it look really full like a flower. And I just did that all the way around, pulling the flowers off and cutting them in half and gluing them under the sand dollar. It's almost complete. I really love the pinks and the blues together. I think the final thing I wanted to do was just take a little bit of ivory and distress my little sand dollar just a little bit to make it look a little bit coastal farmhouse there. Not too much though, just a little bit of distressing on that. And here it is, our giant burlap flower. Let me show you how this turned out. It's so pretty. I love it. I love the idea of a giant flower like this. And the fact that it has a little coastal touch with the sand dollar in the middle, of course, makes me very happy. But isn't that so cute? I think that would be really pretty again if you had like a colored burlap as well.